Sa mga kongresista na kaalyado ng mga NPA, mahaya naman tayo sa topic ng pagpatay dahil kayo mismo, hindi kayo nagsasalita sa pagpatay ng NPA sa mga pulis, sundalo at mamayang Pilipino. Sa NPA, nire-recruit ang mga kabataan para pabagsakin ang gobyerno at pumatay ng mga pulis, sundalo at tropa ng gobyerno. Di nyo naman kinokondena ang pagpatay nila. Ang kinokondena nyo ngayon ay ang dalawang naging most trusted leaders ng bansa na todo effort protektahan ang milyong-milyong mga Pilipino.
I beg to disagree with my colleague kasi bata pa siya. Ako, I have given up my life for this country. The former president is only 2 years older than I am. But I have been fighting for this country. I was a member of the Philippine Constabulary and became a policeman after Republic Act 6975 was enacted. This statement of my colleague betrays her ignorance. Kung gusto po niya na magpa-imbestiga, mag-file siya ng resolution and maybe refer to the appropriate committee to be fair with her. She is a congressman. She knows the rules. However, your statement or your statements betray your ignorance of our rules here in this House of Congress. So I beg to disagree, Mr. Chair, na sila lang ang nakikipaglaban at marunong makipaglaban sa kalaban. As I've said before, I have given the most part or most years of my life fighting the enemy of this country.
Kung meron kayong gustong paimbita, mag-attend kayo ng hearing. Hindi ma-attend kayo kapag andito lang ang dating Pangulo, ang ating Vice Presidente. Umattend kayo. This committee hearing, this Quadcom, makes announcements of all its hearings. And from here on, we want to see you in our hearing, and please submit to the committee secretary all the persons you want to be invited.
Nang dumadaan ako, Mr. Chair, ang sabi ni Mr. Cardema, di ba bayan muna ka, tumatakbo ka sa eleksyon. So sabi ko, marami namang congressman dito tumatakbo sa eleksyon, bakit kami ang minimension mo?
Okay, sige po.
So
Maraming salamat po.
ko.
Maraming salamat. So please be reminded, Mr. Cardema, ito reminder lamang po. Dito sa committee ito, hindi nyo po pwedeng itaunt, palakpakan, o insultuhin kahit sino. Paalala lang yan. That the next time gawin mo yan, baka ikaw ang magsisi, ha? Just a reminder. So, Congressman Drixie Cardema, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening po. Just a manifestation.
This is a manifestation.
Yes,
Okay.
Chair.
Please proceed.
Tayo ditong mga kinatawan ay ibinoto lamang ng ilang libong Pilipino. Ngunit ang kasama natin ngayon ang Pangulong Duterte, ang most voted Philippine leader ng 2016. At ang kanyang anak, Vice President Sara Duterte, ang most voted Philippine leader naman ngayong 2022. I would like to manifest na gusto ng sambayanang Pilipino ang pagdurog niya sa mga kriminal, durugista at NPA na terorista. Kaya sila ibinoto at patuloy na mahal ng mga Pilipino. Kaya gusto natin ng patas na hearing. Sana sinama natin dito ang libo-libong mga magulang na ang mga anak ay biniktima ng mga durugista. Ang mga ordinaryong Pilipino na naglalakad galing trabaho, tapos sinaksak o pinatay ng adik, lahat ng mga kababaihan, na kahit pati infant na babae ay ginahasa na ng adik. Libo-libo rin ang kanilang mga magulang at mahal sa buhay na wala dito ngayon. awang-awa ang mga Pilipino sa mga inuseteng pamilyang na ito, kaya niluklok ng bansa ang Pangulong Duterte. Ang drug war ng Pangulo ay policy lamang. Hindi ito natupad kung hindi ito pinondohan ng Kongreso ng 6 na taon. Majority pa nga dito sa mga kinatawan ay naka-Duterte fist pa nung buong 6 na taon eh. Ang Duterte Youth Party List po ay patuloy na naninindigan sa Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at pangalawang Pangulo, Sara Duterte, na naglingkod ng maayos, dumurog sa mga durugista, kriminal at NPA na terorista para proteksyonan ang milyon-milyong Pilipino. Bakit wala nag-iimbestiga dito o nag-iimbita sa atin sa sobrang raming Pilipino na biniktima ng mga durugista? And lastly, sa mga kongresista na kaalyado ng mga NPA, mahaya naman tayo sa topic ng pagpatay dahil kayo mismo, hindi kayo nagsasalita sa pagpatay ng NPA sa mga pulis, sundalo at mamayang Pilipino. Pati rin po sa mga natitirang resource persons na gustong mag-abogada papuntang ICC, si Attorney Maria Cristina Conti, na kandidato ngayon ng Bayan Muna Party List. Kasama po ang inyong katabi na si Nery Colmenares ng Bayan Muna. Sa NPA, nire-recruit ang mga kabataan para pabagsakin ang gobyerno at pumatay ng mga pulis, sundalo at tropa ng gobyerno. Di nyo naman kinokondena ang pagpatay nila. Ang kinokondena nyo ngayon ay ang dalawang naging most trusted leaders ng bansa na todo effort protektahan ang milyong-milyong mga Pilipino. In support sa advocacy sa Pangulong Duterte, ang Duterte Youth Party List ngayon, Kongreso ito, ang kaisa-isang nagpapanukala ng pagbalik ng death penalty para sa mga rapist, kidnappers, durugista at terorista. In behalf of the Duterte Youth Party List, kami ay nagpapasalamat sa todong suporta ng Pangulong Duterte at VP Sara Duterte sa mga tropa ng gobyerno at sa pagdurog nyo sa mga kriminal, durugista at NPA na terorista. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. At
Thank you,
magandang gabi po.
Congresswoman.
Salamat,
Cardema.
Mr. Chair,
Bawal po pumalakpak dito. Kung gusto niyo pumalakpak, doon kayo sa labas. Maaari ba?
Mr. Chair,
Wala hong bastusan dito, ha? Sige, Congressman Acop, you're recognized.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I beg to disagree with my colleague. Kasi bata pa siya. Ako, I have given up my life for this country. The former president is only 2 years older than I am. But I have been fighting for this country. I was a member of the Philippine Constabulary and became a policeman after Republic Act 6975 was enacted. This statement of my colleague betrays her ignorance. Kung gusto po niya na magpa-imbestiga, mag-file siya ng resolution and maybe refer to the appropriate committee to be fair with her. She is a congressman. She knows the rules. However, your statement or your statements betray your ignorance of our rules here in this House of Congress. So I beg to disagree, Mr. Chair, na sila lang ang nakikipaglaban at marunong makipaglaban sa kalaban. As I've said before, I have given the most part or most years of my life fighting the enemy of this country. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Acop. Yes, let me emphasize na wala pong may monopolya ng pagmamahal sa bayan dito. Pare-parehas po tayo rito. And following the suggestion of Congressman Acop, kung merong kayong gustong paimbita, mag-attend kayo ng hearing. Hindi ma-attend kayo kapag andito lang ang dating Pangulo, ang ating Vice Presidente. Umattend kayo. This committee hearing, this Quadcom, makes announcements of all its hearings. And from here on, we want to see you in our hearing, and please submit to the committee secretary all the persons you want to be invited. Wala hong ano yan. Wala hong ano yan. Kung sino yung gusto niyang imbitahan, pwede po yan. Gusto ko lamang pong liwanagin na wala hong may monopolyo sa pagmamahal sa bayan dito. Hindi kayo, hindi kami. Pare-parehas tayo nagmamahal sa bayan. Pare-parehas tayo nagseserbisyo eh. Diba? Huwag niyo sabihin mas magaling kayo. Dahil kami, hindi naman namin sasabihin magaling kami. Pero kung pagmamahal sa bayan, pare-parehas tayo. Huwag niyong sosolohin yan. Dahil magagalit si Congressman Dan Fernandez. Anyway,
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Abante and then Congressman Senior Deputy Speaker Gonzales. Congressman Abante.
katulad din po ni Congressman Romy Acop, gusto ko ring sabihin ang ilan sa aking talambuhay. 1986, Mr. Chair, muntik nang bumagsak ang Pilipinas sa NPA. Mayroong 37,000 na armed NPA sa bansa. Mayroong 5 million na mass support ang NPA. That was 1986. Kinausap ko ang dating Chief of Staff, si FBR, upang ang aming grupo ay makipag-ugnay sa CRS upang labanan namin ang MPA saan man sila naroroon. Bilang isang religious leader, wala po kaming dalang armas. In fact, kami po ay nag-create ng grupo na ang tawag confrontational evangelism. Nang ibig sabihin nun, habang NPA ay naghahasik ng lagim sa mga bayan, kami naman ay nagtuturo ng Biblia at ng tunay na kalayaan sa bayan. Ako din po ang isa sa mga nag-suggest kay FBR nung araw na magtayo ng isang civilian force na magiging kasama ng armed forces. Naging pangulo po sa FBR. Kasama po ako doon. Naging konsyal ako ng Maynila. Andiyan po si Atty. Bebot Bello. Alam po niya na magkasama kami sa lakas nung araw. So tama po ang sinabi ni Congressman Acop, ni Congressman Ace Barbers, na lahat po tayo nagmamahal sa bayan. Kaya nga, Mr. Chair, gusto kong itanong sana dito kay Senator Trillanes, if he is working for the ICC. Are you working for the ICC, Mr. Chair?
Hindi po,
You are not.
hindi po, Mr. Chairman.
But you are connected with the ICC.
Opo, by virtue of being the first to
So, Mr.
to file.
Chair.
Yes.
This man who used to be a part of the armed forces, that should be a patriot in this country, has been conniving with the ICC in this country. Now, we would like to have a balance here. Hindi po yung unfair tayo o bias tayo. Balanse lang tayo dito. Hindi natin dito inaakusahan ang sinumang personalidad. Issues. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa ating former president, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit kinakailangan pumatay tayo ng 30,000 people sa war on drugs. Naniniwala po ako sa war on drugs, Mr. President. Suportado ko na ayaw natin ang bansang Pilipinas mahulog sa kuko ng mga drug pushers and drug lords. Ang nakakapagtaka lang, Mr. Chair, kung bakit kakaunti lang ang napapatay ng mga drug lords at drug traffickers at libo-libo ang napapatay ng mga drug pushers at daan-daan ang napapatay ng mga drug users. Huwag natin pag-usapan dito ang ideolohiya. pag-usapan po natin dito kung paano natin pagagandahin ang bansang Pilipinas. Yan po ang pag-usapan natin dito, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman Abante.
Mr.
Next,
Chair,
our senior
Mr.
deputy.
Chair, would like to manifest.
Yeah, but before
Okay.
I recognize you, I will recognize Senior Deputy Speaker Dong
Thank you,
Gonzales.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My dear colleagues and the former President, our Vice President, for the information of our colleague, Congresswoman Ordenas, ang tanong po, bakit nandito po tayo ngayon? Because I'm the one who stood up in the floor last August 5, for your information, na calling for a joint investigation for the pressing issues of extrajudicial killings, illegal drugs, and illegal activities linked to Philippine offshore gaming operators. There are a lot of House resolutions. I filed also a House resolution number 1346 directing the inquiry in my own town in Mexico, Pampanga, and you know all of that doon po nakita yung worth 3.6 billion pesos na 560 kilos of shabu. And that is in my district, and that is in my province, and that is our town in Mexico. And nakita po din natin yung 3.8 billion worth na intercepted sa Subic Port na inotor po ni Congressman Jeffrey Conghun. Sinabi ko po lahat ito, there are a lot of House resolutions and we have consolidated. That's why this Quadcom form na dumaan po sa tamang proseso, dumaan po sa Committee on Rules, and I think this is the first time in the history of Congress since 1907. This is the first time na nagkaroon po tayo ng Quadcom Committee. So wala po itong personalan, wala po itong politika, ma'am. Hindi po kami kay former President, wala po yun, ma'am. At sa ating Vice President, do not monopolize the love of country. Mahal po natin lahat ang bansang Pilipinas. Kami po, dito, nakatayo kami. We are staying here up to 2:30 in the morning. We are inviting all resource persons to dig it out what is true. Kung sino po, hindi naman ibig sabihin, in-invite ka rito, akusado ka na. Hindi po. There are a lot of witnesses going to the office of our chairpersons of these various committees to testify, to tell the truth, at kami naman po, hindi naman po basta-basta, kinukuha natin yung mga witnesses. So I repeat, Mr. Chairman, thank you again for the opportunity. And I would like to enlighten our co-members, the members of this 19th Congress, please attend this Quadcom hearing. Totoo po yun. Hindi lang po andito ang ating former President ngayon. Nandito kayo. Hindi lang po nandito si Vice President Sara ngayon. Nandito kayo. Hindi po ganyan. Kahit sino po, dapat wala tayong pinipili. This is the love of country. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Gonzales. Next, Congresswoman Castro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Palabas na sana ako, pauwi na talaga sana ako. Kaya lang narinig ko yung manifestation ng ating kagalang-galang na colleague, Representative Cardema. Alam niyo po, Mr. Chair, paulit-ulit yan, yung manifestation na yan. 3 beses ko na yung narinig na paulit-ulit. Laban sa mga NPA, laban sa mga progresibong grupo, laban sa mga party list ng mga progresibong kagaya namin. At yung mga tinutukoy niya siguro ay kami yun, no? At talagang nakikita naman natin, ano ba talaga yung intensyon, no? Ng mga ganitong manifestation. Ito, ginagawa natin ito tulad na sinabi ng ating chair at SDS, pang 11 araw na natin itong ginagawa. no? Nagpupuyat tayo dito, nagpapagod, hinahanap ang truth, etc. Para lang makita natin, 3,000 ang napatay, more or less, sa panahon ni President Duterte na EJK. So, wala ba yan sa inyo? Karamihan dyan, mga kabataan na walang kamalay-malay na naging biktima, Mr. Chair, ng ng mga karumal-dumal na mga pagpatay sa panahon ni President Duterte. I know, idol mo, si former President Duterte, Mr. Chair, idol ng ating colleague dito, kahit na yung ating Vice President. Pero dapat po, ang tingnan natin dito ay yung kapakanan, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga kabataan. No? Kaya po, at isa pa po, Mr. Chair, hindi natin pinapayagan sa ating committee yung pag-disrespeto sa ating mga resource person. Narinig ko rin na binabanggit yung mga pangalan ng ating mga resource person na nandito. So dapat po igalang natin yung rules kung gusto nating makatulong at gusto nating magtrabaho dito sa Kongreso. Kasi ito naman talaga yung sinumpaan natin, ito naman talaga yung mandate sa atin. Ay tumulong na lang kayo, no? Tumulong na lang kayo. At hindi yung ganito, tama yun, maghain tayo ng resolusyon para kung gusto nating may ma-resolve na problema, like yung problema halimbawa ng patuloy na armadong pakikibaka, bakit ba merong mga armed struggle? Nilulutas natin yan hindi sa madugong paraan, hindi sa militarisasyon. Kaya nga tayo ay nagkakaroon ng peace talks, di ba? Dapat magkaroon ng peace talks at hindi ito ng militarization yung ating laging iniisip at laging sinasabi natin na terorista si ganito at si ganon. So, Mr. Chair, pasensya na po kasi nagiging irrational yung mga ganitong mga statement ng ating colleague. Pasensya na, with due respect. Sana hindi na maulit ito at aasahan natin, tama po, aasahan natin sa mga susunod na mga hearings si Representative Cardema na tumulong siya sa atin sa paghahanap ng truth dito sa ginagawa natin sa Quadcom at sa iba pang mga hearings, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Maraming salamat, Congresswoman Castro. The next to interpolate, and I think the last to interpolate, is Congressman Romy Acop. No, last for the first round. I was referring for the last interpolator for the first round. We still have another round, second round. So, Congressman Acop, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Alas 9 pa lang po, nandito na ako kanina. Nag-aayos pa lang yung mga page natin ng mga upuan. Mr. President, please allow me to ask questions to you. And I hope they would not be considered as stupid questions dahil ayaw nyo po na matanong kayo ng stupid
Biro lang yun siya.
questions.
Hindi naman ako.
Uh,
Part of it.
Thank you.
Araw-araw na yun ang may mouth.
Marami pong salamat, Mr. President. Clarification lang po. A while ago, kayo po ay natanong tungkol dun sa mga prinisinta ni Senator Trillanes na mga bank accounts. And you said you
Mr.
would
Chair,
sign a waiver.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, Mr. Chair, can you please, can I move for 1 minute suspension?
1 minute suspension. Sergeant at Arms. What is the commotion? Bakit?
I think, Mr. Chair, it's better that we
What happened?
transfer some of...
Ano nangyari?
You wish me to explain? Nang dumaan lang ako, Mr. Chair, sabi niya, di ba bayan muna ka? O so ano ngayon?
Speak louder, speak louder, speak louder.
Nang dumadaan ako, Mr. Chair, ang sabi ni Mr. Cardema, di ba bayan muna ka? Tumatakbo ka sa eleksyon. So sabi ko, marami namang congressman dito tumatakbo sa eleksyon. Bakit kami ang mini-mention mo?
Okay, sige po.
So yun
Maraming
na naman
salamat
po ang
po.
ano ko.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Cardema.
Mr. Chair, I would advise our guests here, please not to provoke anybody, especially the guests here, if I may humbly request, para hindi ho tayo tumagal pa.
Thank you, Congressman Adjong.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
May I ask
Congressman Paduano.
former Congressman Ray Colmenares as a resource person to go back in the meeting room
No, I think he's going to the comfort room.
unless nasa ano siya, sa comfort room.
Yeah, he's going to the comfort room. So please be reminded, Mr. Cardema, ito reminder lamang po. Dito sa committee ito, hindi nyo po pwedeng itaunt, palakpakan, o insultuhin kahit sino. Paalala lang yan. That the next time gawin mo yan, baka ikaw ang magsisi, ha? Just a reminder. Thank you. Now, let us proceed. Congressman Acop, I'm sorry. You have 10 more minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll make it short because I want to go home also. Mr. President, a while ago, Senator Trillanes presented some bank accounts on the screen. And because of that, you stated that you are willing to sign a waiver. Tama po ba yung pagkarinig ko, Mr. President? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I would like also to inform you, Mr. President, that kung namang problema po kayo doon sa pamasahe po ninyo, pagpunta sa hearing na ito, I have told the chairman na pwede namang yung gobyerno ang mag-spend para sa inyo.
Salamat,
Under
sir.
our rules, Mr. President.
That would be hindi naman great, but that would be saving. 3 pamalengke yan, 4.
Yes, Mr. President. Totoo rin po ba yung pagkarinig ko kanina, Mr. President, that you would volunteer to go to the ICC and have yourself be investigated,
Yes, sir.
provided funds will be...
Yes, sir.
Baka magkatotoo po yun, Mr. President. May magbibigay na pera eh.
Sir, mas mabuti yan, sir, makapasyal ako. Wala man talaga sila makuha sa akin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, pero doon sa statement po nyo kanina, I don't think you would want to volunteer simply because you wouldn't want persons who are colored white to judge you. Tama rin po ba yung pagkarinig ko?
No, I'm open to, I'm a public official, sir. So, I am open to public scrutiny and public judgment. Official ho ako ng gobyerno.
Yes, Mr. President. Pero narinig ko po kanina na doon sa pagtatanong na isang kasamahan ko na you wouldn't want to be judged by white persons. You would rather want to be judged by Filipinos, your fellow Filipinos.
Yes, sir. Hindi ko... when it comes to the dispensation of justice, hindi ko... I do not have the respect and the whatever sa mga puti. They have always looked upon us as inferior ever since. That has not changed over time, many years. I would rather that I be heard, I be prosecuted by a Filipino, heard by a judge, sentenced, then I can appeal, then if it is affirmed, then I can go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says that I go to jail, wala namang death penalty ngayon, I would willingly go to prison. Sir, basta Pilipino lang. Wag lang foreigner. Ayaw ko yung puti, sir. May sentimento ako sa kanila.
Maraming salamat po. Would you agree with me, Mr. President, na lahat po ng sasabihin nyo tungkol sa isang issue o isang bagay, it becomes a policy statement of the country when you were the President?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And therefore, when you stated things about the war on drugs, don't you think it had encouraged our police force to be so aggressive in implementing the war against illegal drugs?
Sir, ang police natin, sir, hindi naman yan pinupulot sa daan eh. They are recruited and they undergo 2 years. And one of the subjects, lahat na, and criminal law, nagtuturo rin ako kasi to augment the income at that time sa pamilya ko, sir. Tinuturo namin ang lahat. At yung lahat ng mga ating police, sir, ay edukado na yan and well-versed on how to handle a police work. So, bago sila magsabi na binugbog ng police o ganon, titignan mo muna, sir, kasi ang police, usually, hindi kagaya ng ibang civilian, kung may gulo, they can stay away. A policeman, whatever is there, a quarrel or anumang gulo, has to go there and confront what's happening and to pacify and make an arrest if need be and bring them. And sometimes, hindi mo madala yan, sir, basta-basta lang mahila mo. Minsan lumalaban. Kaya nabubugbog. Kaya pagkatapos niyan, ang labas, ang pulis ang nabubugbog. Talagang, yung mga lasing, hindi mo mahila yan sa restuhin. Tawa lang pulis-pulis dito. Di pa ka ganun, talagang mabugbog ka ng pulis. Tama naman. Because you have to overcome the resistance in order to make the arrest. Otherwise, inutil ka na pulis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yun pong, yung statement po ninyo na you take full legal responsibility for the acts of the members of the police force. I've heard that so many times.
Wala akong choice, sir. If you're a mayor, napakaduwag mo naman kung if you shy away from your responsibility because you are supposed to be giving the direction. Ang pulis po, nagtatrabaho lang yan. So ang pulis, pag sinabi mo, pumunta ka dyan sa mga lasinggero na yan, and always there is a resistance, a quarrel, eventually there will be a confrontation. At hindi natin maiwasan, sir, ang kaso. Kaya ako naawa, kasi alam mo noon, sir, pag ang pulis napailan ng kaso, on that day, wala ng sweldo. Suspended na ang sweldo. Pati yung mga anak. Kaya ako pro-police talaga.
Marami
at
po
noon
salamat.
pang fiscal ako, pro-police talaga ako.
Yung pong statement nyo kasi, itinuturo rin doon sa academy under the principle of command responsibility. A leader or a commander is supposed to be responsible for what his people will do or would fail to do.
Yeah.
Basically, it's basically the same doon sa sinasabi
pursuant
ko.
to what they have learned from you.
Yes.
Yes.
Iyon po yung...
Yes.
But, tinuturo din po sa amin sa academy na kung ganun po ang sabi ng commander, the commander is responsible, pero ang responsibility lang niya for those legal acts to be committed by the members of his unit.
Yes,
Hindi kagaya po ng sinasabi ngayon, nakikita po natin, nangyayari, meron kayong policy statement regarding the war on drugs, tapos hindi naman po nila in-implement ng tama. Why? Because according to our investigations, they have committed crimes in order to fulfill their mandate.
That is the reason why yung police na dapat i-appoint nila sa syudad o municipality, kailangan tanggap ng mayor yan. O baski na kaibigan ng mayor yan, okay na yan. Because there will be a smooth, orderly administration of law and order. Pagka bikil yan dalawa, sir, mahirap masyado. Lalo na kung ang chief of police gusto rin magpa-salida, if I may use my, for lack of, yan ang minsan nagkakagulo. That's why there's always a friction. That's why magbuti yung batas na ang mayor talaga ang mamili. Why? Because the mayor is the elected leader of the community, not the police chief. So, hanggang guidance lang. Ngayon, kung illegal yung, marami yan, sir, illegal, maraming kung ano-anong mga sugal, then he can always report to the provincial commander. And kung hindi na talaga niya makaya, sabihin nila na, sir, i-relieve mo na lang ako, but he can make a report, copy furnish, lahat, including the president. Importante yan, sir, kung may complaint ka, the office of the president ang paki-furnish. Ako noon, pagka kailangan may office of the president talaga yan. Kasi pag nakita ko yan, lahat binabasa ko sa gabi. Pag nakita ko yung then that night, tinatawagan ko kung sinong secretary.
So, let's make it clear, Mr. President. You take full responsibility for the acts of your police force, but you are not responsible for their individual acts which would constitute a crime.
Sir, bago ito sila na police, nag-aral ito ng academy ng 2 years. Of what purpose would have been or it would be kung wala natutunan ito sa basic criminal law, criminal procedure? Ako doon sa amin, ako ang natuturo mismo And not because of the money now, but because I want to share my knowledge with the police so that we can have a better police force. Noon, sir, gidaginot ko yan. Ano ang daginot sa Tagalog?
Unfortunately, Mr.
Kasi
President.
kailangan ko ng pera.
Unfortunately, Mr. President, some did not learn maybe from your teachings. That's
Mas-
why,
We have the terms kalawags.
opo,
Money, sir. Basta dyan sa police nagkalitsi-litsi, it's always money. Or, dalawa yan, sir. May pangalawang asawa yung mga gago o may sugalan dyan. Pero whichever, yung first na dalawang asawa, hindi masyado ko ang magdikdik niyan kaya marami tayong may kasalanan ng ganun. Maybe the chairman can explain to us what that means to a layman's term.
marami pong salamat, Mr. President. May I ask Attorney Conti, when would you consider a person a criminal?
Your Honor, under the rules, a criminal would have to be convicted of a crime. Prior to that, it would just be someone who is either accused, if already indicted in court, or charged, if only complained of before the prosecutor.
Did I get you right, Madam Attorney, na ikaw ay magiging criminal kung ikaw ay na-charged and you have been convicted with final judgment? Ganun po ba yan?
Could be, Your Honor, but pwede din po sigurong sabihin na criminal na kung kahit yung initial na conviction lang po muna. Kasi, kumbaga, may conviction ka na from a court. Balik ta rin ko po, kapag sa fiscal charged or respondent, kung tatawagin, kapag nakarating sa korte, accused, and then pag na-convicted, criminal.
So, even if you have been convicted sa, for example, regional trial court, nag-appeal siya hanggang sa Korte Suprema, he's already considered a criminal under the eyes of the law?
Yes, Your Honor, because there is a conviction. Of course, you can contest that. Pwede nyo pong sabihin na, under appeal pa rin naman. But the conviction stands. It could be just that hindi siya nagsiserve ng sentence.
Mr. President, would you agree with that definition?
Yes, sir, because there has to be a conviction. Hindi mahirap yung sabihin mo na basta i-demanda mo lang. Especially yung sa nagtatrabaho lang, sir. Yung mga minor offenses, lumalabas yan sa blatter ng police. Tapos lumalabas yan sa database nila. Yung mga pobre naman na pag-apply nila for trabaho, lalabas yan eh. No matter na, hindi kailangan conviction, basta may police record, automatically, it is a negative. Between a choice na walang violation, ito may violation, pagka doon may police record, kawawa talaga, sir. So,
thank you, Mr. President. Nagwo-worry lang po kasi ako doon sa kanina, meron po kayong example na inilabas na doon sa Davao, merong mga tao na pumasok sa isang bahay, nagnakaw, nag-rape, tapos pagbaba nila, nandun ka, patay sila. Yun po yung sabi niyo kanina. Did I get you right, Mr. President?
It's not that easy to kill a person.
I know.
Sinasabi ko yan, sir, yung mga kidnapping with some, hindi sinasauli, pinapatay na lang. Yung mayor ako, hard talaga ako dyan.
So,
talagang hard as hard. Yung rape mo, patayin mo.
Sinasabi po niyo ba sa amin ngayon, Mr. President, na you discarded the presumption of innocence of each and every individual? Yun po ba ang gusto niyong sabihin sa amin ngayon?
I am not ready to answer or to give you an accurate answer on that, sir. Depende na yan sa konsensya ko. Pati yung sa mga pulis na kaharap ko. Kasi alam naman ng mga pulis doon na pag sinungaling sila or hihilain nila yung innocenteng tao, alam ng pulis nila, bugbugin ko talaga sila. Nagbubugbog talaga ako ng pulis sa Davao, sir. Pagka-abusado na pulis, talagang pag inabutan kita sa istasyon, sigurado yan. So, kaya disiplinado ang pulis ko.
Would it also mean, Mr. President, that sometimes you have discarded the presumption of innocence, then you would also have discarded sometimes the principle of due process? Would that be correct?
Due process, yes, maybe. Pero yung sabi, innocent, sir. Huwag nandyan yung babae. Alam mo, karamihan dyan, minsan. Usually, nandyan yung babae. Magsumbong dyan sa opisina ko. May pasa dito, may bugol dito, black eye dito. So, bakit? Binugbog ako. Sinong bumugbog sa iyo? Yung pulis dyan sa Talumo. Sino? Sabi ko, yung Bongo, yung senator, tawagin mo. O pagdating doon sa opisina, tawagin ko yung asawa. O manood ka. Saan ka unang sinipa? Dito. O di sipain ko. Saan sunod? Sinuntok ako dito. Suntukin ko. Tapos sunod saan? Sipa uli dito. Sabihin ko, pag inulit mo yan, papatayin kita. Hindi na kita papalusutin.
Thank you, Mr. President. The last issue, kasi doon po ako nagwo-worry. Yung pong statement po ninyo na sinasabihan nyo yung mga polis na pag hindi lumaban, i-encourage nyo na lumaban. Would that be correct, yung pagkaintindi ko po ron?
Yes, sir. Kung may hold up at pumupurma ng lumaban, palabanin mo para matapos na ang problema natin. Pero kung nakasurrender na, sir, tinapon na yung baril sa... Alam nila, hindi yan.
Paano po, Mr. President, magkakaroon ng depensa na self-defense yung taong nag-i-encourage na lumaban yung isang tao?
Well, that would be a question of batas na yan, sir.
Yes, I agree, Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's why there are 3 elements of self-defense as a defense for you to be acquitted of that crime.
That is for the fiscal to decide at that stage. Wala na yan dyan sa police, sir. It is far removed na kung meron ng ano.
Pero po, lumalaki
Fiscal.
yung tsansa na sila po ay madali. Pag
Again,
ganun.
sir?
Ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung tsansa na sila ay makonvict simply because hindi natupad yung isa sa elements ng self-defense,
No,
which
sir.
is lack of sufficient provocation. Di po ba?
Pag nalaman ko, sir, na nagtatrabaho ang pulis, yung tama lang, magtanong ka sa Davao, lahat ng Davao, pulis. Pag na-charge mo ang pulis, nagsatrabaho lang, suportado ko yan. Ako ang nag-alam ng lahat. Ako ang nagbabayad ng abogado. Habang suspendido siya, he receives a commensurate salary doon sa sweldo niya. At tinutulungan ko. If it is in the fulfillment of duty. Pero kung abusado na poliser, magkaka-enkwentro talaga tayo. Yan ang sabi ko sa kanila, iwasan mo kasi hindi ko kataya talaga palusutin. At marami akong nabugbog na pulis. Hindi na ngayon, sir, matanda na ako. Nung mayor pa ako, batuta, yung batuta nila mismo yan, gamitin ko batuta sa kanila. Sa batuta ninyo. Kaya pag nanagdatin ako, may kasalanan yung gagong yan, tinatapon nila yung batuta kasi alam ko gagamitin ko sa kanila. That's the only way to, hindi mo mapakiusap ang pulis. Hoy, pulis, alam mo, may batas. Hindi kayo dupapit ng ganon, ha? Huwag kayong pumasok kasi bawal yan. Professor ako ng academy. Itong mga to, katagal ko ng fiscal year. Fiscal ako for 9 years. Alam ko yung asta ng lahat. Yung hold-upper, yung police, yung gagong pulis, yung mabait na pulis. Yung mababait na pulis na papasubo, suportado ko rin yan sila. Talagang to the hilt. Pero pag ikaw ay gago, ay mag-enkwentro tayo. Pero sa criminal, sir, talagang mainit ako, lalo na sa druga. Noong presidente ako, time and again, I have shown to the public how cruel, how brutal, how brutal I was in dealing with drugs. Kasi sir, ang druga kasi, ang target niyan, ang mga anak natin. Hindi makaresist eh. Yung pagpano dyan, udyukan, ito, gamit nyo dyan. At their age, sir, wala silang depensa. Ngayon, pag tinamaan ito, sir, what would happen to the next generation? Yan nga ang masakit, sir. Can I be given a little para ma-portray ko talaga ang totoong istorya. Here is a mother. Magpunta ng abroad. Hindi na talaga natin alam. Sometimes they rape, abuse. Yung iba, magreklamo. Yung iba, maghanap na lang trabaho, but they will endure the brutality sa nangyari sa kanila. Why? Because kailangan nila to send the money, otherwise, yung gago na walang trabaho, magsige lang inom, ang mga bata walang pagkain, walang eskwela. Kaya ako mainit dyan. Mainit talaga ako sa mga lalo na yung mga droga sa mga bata. Mainit talaga ako. Hindi ko lang masabi sa'yo kung paano ko martilyuhin ang mga kamay niyan. I cannot just portray, hindi ako nagyayabang, pero magtanong ka na lang ng pulis ka man. Minamartilyo ko talaga yung...
Thank you, Mr. President. Would I be correct as my last question? Kayo po yung naniniwala na sa Machiavellian principle that the end justify the means?
Fortunately, sir, rightly or wrongly, I believe
In that Machiavellian principle. Marami pong salamat, Mr.
There's
President.
no other way to deal with criminals except to instill fear. Pag hindi ka nare-respeto ng kriminal, walang mangyayari sa iyo.
Marami pong salamat, Mr. President.
Laruin ka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Congressman Akop. Mr.
Mr.
President, okay pa ho ba kayo? Ay,
Mr. Chair.
So you're still okay if we proceed, yes, Attorney Conti.
I'm sorry, sir, but with the indulgence of Kong Akop, with your line of questioning, Your Honor, I have a photo which I would like to show to illustrate the Machiavellian approach. This is the death of Benjamin Visda. May I ask this? Mr. Chair, the photo I submitted to the Secretariat earlier, just a trigger warning, because this illustrates a death that is allegedly under manlaban circumstances.
Thank you, Congressman Paulo, Deputy Majority Leader. May I request, Mr. Chair, that we also extend to the former President the same leniency that you extended for Congressman Raj and Congressman Zia. Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious. I'm certain that you believe that the way you conducted the drug war was legal. Am I correct?
That was the way I viewed how to control the crime, sir. The best way that I could have possibly undertaken sa isip ko as President. It was my sole single discretion.
Okay, sir.
Nothing could have moved without my order.
You say so. But I'm curious, if that was your belief, why did the Philippines withdraw from the International Criminal Court?
Hindi man, it has nothing to do with itong kaso.
The drug war. May I know the reason why you withdrew from the International Criminal Court?
It's a silly court.
I'm sorry, sir?
It's a silly court.
It's a silly, okay. It's a silly court.
Walang ginawa yan. Wala namang nakulong. Wala namang, basta puro demanda yan. We have seen a lot of leaders, world leaders, from Africa committing acts of murdering his people, murdering his neighbor. Wala man ako nakita, sir, na narinig nila na nakulong hanggang ngayon.
But were they actually members of the International Criminal Court, though?
Yes, sir.
They were also members?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And yet they were not tried?
They were tried, but wala kang nangyari.
Okay. Have you ever thought of actually facing the International Criminal Court instead of withdrawing? Had it ever crossed your mind back then?
Sir, hindi ako believe sa puti. I would rather face a Filipino. Baski wala akong abogado. Ako lang. And he can sentence me to death or to reclusion perpetua. Basta korte ng Pilipino, I will abide by it. I will not allow a foreigner to judge me for the things that I had to do during my time as President of this Republic.
So you trust the Filipino courts more than the ICC?
Of course, sir.
Okay.
Of course, and they can have the special prosecutor or whatever. Sila na ang mamili. The administration, kung sino man ang nandyan, will have a choice of what prosecutors, kung anong tawagin nila, o create a special court. Wala akong problema, sir. Congress can do it. They can enact a law creating a special, and they can go back to the so-called crimes that I committed, and I will willingly submit. Pag sinintensihan ako ng korte, sir, ng Pilipinas, okay ako. Even if it is really against my freedom.
Okay, Mr. President. Although I seem to remember that some of the Filipinos who went to the ICC, I think maybe one of the reasons why they went there instead of going to our domestic courts was maybe they were concerned that they could not get the same justice here in the Philippines as they could in the International Criminal Court. How would you reconcile that with your belief?
Then they don't deserve to be Filipinos residing here. They're better off where they think the courts are good for them. Hindi ako mag-surrender ng foreign court, sir. Never. I will not allow myself to take to place under jurisdiction of any court. Pilipino ako, mamatay ako na Pilipino, makulong ako na Pilipino before a competent judge, a competent prosecutor, and I have a defense counsel, ang kagaya ng katabi ko, pati yung sa likod ko, they are all good, and I know that I will be acquitted.
Salamat kayo, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Masarap.
I would like to ask questions from former Senator Trillanes. I heard earlier that you filed several cases against the former president. And one of those was regarding drugs. And what was the second case that you filed?
Bali, Mr. Chairman, 3 plunder cases ang final ko kay labang kay Duterte at isang illegal drug smuggling case laban kay Pulong Duterte and Manscarpio.
So 2 plunder tapos isang
Tatlo po.
3 plunder cases?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And 1 drug smuggling case?
Yes.
So you filed 4 separate cases against the Duterte family?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What was the earliest case that you filed?
Yung una po, yung 2016 na final ko. At yun nga po yung inimbestigahan ng ombudsman at in the course of their investigation, ito pong si Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang ay na-confirm niya na validate niya yung ano ko, Mr. Chairman, yung mga documents na sinabmit ko doon sa nung hiningi niya yung documents sa AMLAC. So the documents I presented here were the same ones.
The ones that you showed earlier?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman.
Here in the screen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So those were the basis of the case that you filed in 2016?
2016, yes.
And what case was that again? Plunder?
Plunder, yes, Mr. Chairman.
So who were the accused in that case?
Siya lang po, Mr. Chairman. Siya lang.
And what happened? What was the basis for you filing that case?
Yun nga po, yung...
just the documents
yes,
itself?
And mga COA documents regarding yung mga ghost employees niya sa Davao.
Is that another case or is that...
Part po yun nung plunder case kasi...
In 2016?
In 2016 kasi what's happening sa Davao, meron silang peace and order funds na ginagamit nila, mga ghost recipients, tapos ang pang-clear nila, at kasama nga dyan yung testimonya rin nila Edgar Matobato at ni Arturo Las Cañas na nakakakuha sila ng mga allowances from those peace and order funds. Yun po ang basis nun, Mr. Chairman.
May I
That-
respond?
Yes, Mr. President.
Kung Bright ito, naging presidente sana siya. Bakit ako naging... Siya ang nakulong. Mutiny.
Let's go back to the...
Let's go back to history. Anong kasalanan ko?
Mr.
Anong
Chair,
kasalanan nito?
Mr. Chair,
Yung witness...
Congressman Akop,
point of order lang.
what is the point of order?
May I remind our members not to ask question or, shall we say, permit a resource person to speak unless the chairman says so. That is the rule of this committee. Kanina pa po kami nandito, hindi kami kumikibo. Kasi yun po ang rule eh. So we must follow our rules to have an orderly proceeding. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for reminding
I submit,
the chair.
Mr. Chair.
Please be reminded of the rule of this committee in allowing members or resource persons to speak. The chair must recognize them first. Please keep that in mind. You may
Mr.
continue.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. President.
This is not really to debate with you. It might be improper. Pero, sir, before we can be really stand corrected, we must know the rules first. Kung may kopya sana kami, alam namin how to behave. The problem is, kayo lang may kopya ng rules ninyo, wala naman kami.
Okay.
So, hindi namin masunod yung
The consent is directed to provide copies, several copies to the resource persons here of the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. Please provide them. Now, you please continue,
Thank
Congressman
you,
Suwan.
sir.
May I ask again, former Senator Trillanes. So let's go back to the case that you were talking about, the first case. So what happened to the Deputy Ombudsman, right, Karandang?
Yes, the Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Karandang confirmed that the documents that I attached when I filed the case was the same set of documents from the AMLAC, from the Anti-Money Laundering Council that they requested. So,
Who requested?
The Ombudsman as part of their investigation.
So what happened to the first case?
So they cannot dismiss it because everything was valid and was validated. So what the Duterte did was he fired the Deputy Ombudsman na nag-iimbestiga. Ganun po yon. So nung napalitan na, edi nag-stall na ang kaso.
What is the status of the case right now?
It's still shelved. So probably once we get a new ombudsman, then these things would start moving, Mr. Chairman.
Say something. Sir?
Mr. Chair.
With the indulgence of Congressman Suwan. Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President.
Wala tayong pakialam sa ombudsman. We cannot interfere. Alam ninyo yan, baski sino. Lalo na mga politiko.
Yes.
Wala tayong pakialam sa ombudsman. We cannot tinker with the ombudsman. And you can call him here and ask him questions. Hindi pwede talaga yung unless sir, if you are not a self-respecting lawyer, kung wala kang delikadesa, sir, ganon. Pero ganon naman ako sabi ko, kanina pa insisting na mahirap lang ako. I have a set of rules in my life and I follow rules in the civil aspect of my life. And ang naging physical ko.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's noted. Yes, please proceed.
Okay, let's go back to the case. Senator Trillanes, you said that your case involved plunder.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman. And let me just add, Mr. Chairman, Duterte keeps on saying na he cannot interfere, pero it is on record, kahit i-google po natin ngayon, Mr. Chairman, he fired. Pinatalsik niya sa pwesto yung nag-iimbestiga nung kaso niya, the Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang, who was earlier invited by the chairman para maririnig po sa kanila kung ano talaga yung nangyari po doon sa investigation po na yun.
Mr. Chair, was the former Assistant Ombudsman invited here?
We have not sent an invitation to him, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, it's been moved earlier, Mr. Chair. It's been moved earlier.
Oh, I stand corrected. Yeah, there was a motion earlier.
Mr. Chairman, I'm the one that moved to invite former Deputy Ombudsman Carandang because we need to check the authenticity of such claims made by former Senator Trillanes. Well, in fact, I'd just like to correct the statement of the former President. We can invite ombudsman, and it's up to them to attend. But being a former congressman, being a former deputy ombudsman, we can invite him to shed light on the matters that was raised by former Senator Trillanes.
I agree, Mr. Chair. Since
you,
he's
Mr.
no
Chairman.
longer the ombudsman, then
Yes, sir.
it would be better to invite him too.
More so that there is there is something cast an aspiration against the office. It is in keeping with our government to make it good and really safe for everybody to have justice and well, for the safe administration of the laws of the land.
We'll make sure that the former Deputy Ombudsman will attend the subsequent hearings of the Quad Committee, Your Honor. So you have 2 more minutes left, Congressman Suwan.
Senator, the crime of plunder is quite serious, and I think there is a minimum amount of, there is a threshold before plunder can be alleged. How much was the amount involved in this case that you filed?
Doon po sa first case, 728 million, thereabouts, yung involved. Tapos, doon naman po sa isa, 6.6 billion pesos yung involved. At ito po
Is
kasi...
this the drug case?
No, the infrastructure projects na inaward ni Duterte doon sa tatay at kapatid ni Bongo when he was still the special assistant to the president. So, yan po, maliwanag po kasi first degree of consanguinity, sila yung nakikinabang nung mga pondo na yon. Then the third one is yung 16 billion peso frigate scam. At nalugi po doon yung...
Can you tell us more about this?
Yes. So, yung case po na yon, yung sa frigate scam, nagkaroon po ng kontrata na bibili ang Pilipinas ng worth 16 billion or something from a Korean company. So, nagkaroon po ng kontrata. Tapos doon po sa kontrata, iba't ibang brand ng equipment ang nakalagay. Ito yung mga primera klase na brand ang nire-request ng...
What do you mean by primera klase?
Yung pinakang high-end or what's this? First
hand, not second hand?
No. Ano po, Mr. Chairman? First class. Yung pinakamaganda. Pinakamagandang klaseng equipment na ginagamit din ng ibang mga Navy. At yun po ang nasa kontrata. Tapos nung napirmahan na yung kontrata, nung nag-assume na ang Duterte administration, ay suddenly pinalitan nila ng mga mahihinang klaseng brand yung mga equipment. At in short, parang ang analogy po doon, Mr. Chairman, parang kang bumili ng Mercedes-Benz, pero yung makina ay pang owner na jeep, parang ganon. So, ganun po ang diniliver. Kaya malaki po ang kinita ng kontraktor at nilabi po yon nito ni Duterte at ni Bongo to the point na nung ino-oppose ito ng flag officer in command ni Admiral Mercado, dahil nilalaban niya yung kailangan ng Navy, tinanggal po siya unceremoniously nito ni Duterte.
Who was removed?
Si Admiral Mercado, Mr. Chairman. Na ginagawa lang naman yung tama at nilalaban kung ano yung nasa kontrata, pero naareglo na nila eh. Siya po yung tinanggal, Mr. Chairman.
Call the Navy. Baka sunod ito sa Air Force na.
Okay.
Please proceed.
So, what happened to the third case?
Yung third...
the one involving the frigates?
Nasa investigation phase, Mr. Chairman. And by the way, liliwanagin ko lang po, na I didn't say anything negative about the current ombudsman. I'm just saying baka meron po siyang ibang mga priorities kaya hindi po niya natututukan itong nauna kong final na case. And let's hope that that will change in the months to come.
And last question, Mr. Chair. What happened to the second case, the one where you said involved 6.6 billion for infrastructure projects?
Final ko po yan sa DOJ. As far as I know, ano rin po, nasa investigation and case build-up phase. Pero yan po, lahat ng dokumentong pinasa ko dyan ay mga COA and DPWH contracts at documents. So, yan naman po, itong tatay at kapatid ni Bongo na wala pong AAA license, ang ginagawa po nila, ang modus nila, nagpa-partnership sila, kunyari, doon sa isang may AAA contract. Tapos, pero ang lahat ng nakapirma, even yung mga nagkiklaim ng checks, ay yung tatay at kapatid ni Bongo. At maliwanag po yun na sila po ang nag-benefit beyond the threshold na 50 million, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. May I just manifest, Mr. Chair, that I don't think that the Ombudsman is sitting on his duties.
Correct.
Anyway, that's my...
Okay, thank you.
That's the last of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Suwan.
Call the attention of the
Chairman.
Ombudsman.
We will...
Mr. Chairman.
We will invite the former Deputy Ombudsman.
And charge them for negligence or delay, whatever. They have to make answerable. Everybody in this government
we will
should
study
be
that,
made to
Mr.
answer
President. We will study
for
that.
any
And if we,
negligence, delay, or for willful.
Mr. Chairman.
we will study that, Mr.
Mr.
President.
Chairman.
Yes, Congressman Paduano.
As part of the position of the chair to study that case that was mentioned by the former Senator Trillanes, may we direct the former Senator to submit in this committee all the cases that he filed in the Ombudsman before the next hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Please submit to this committee before the next hearing.
Yes, Mr.
Para
Chairman.
po, we can discuss it. Wala namang subjudice dito.
Yes,
No?
Mr. Chairman.
But of course, the merit of question of yung sinabi ni former President, let us see. No? Let us see what will be the action of, well, in fact, kung may nakita tayong problema, kahit sinong citizen of this country can file a case against those sitting officers in the Ombudsman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano.